All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Merry Christmas. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker of Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm here with my husband, co-host, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Merry Christmas, Jackie. How are you today?
Fabulous. And how are you?
Very good.
I'm very merry today.
I can see that.
Yes.
That's great.
We have with us, no stranger to our program, Michelle Haynes, co-owner of White Fence Homes. Hello.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Thanks for coming back. We so appreciate your time and information. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many experienced realtors. We've been listing, selling, and appraising homes for 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you're at jruddy.com, click the webcam tab. We got this fancy camera on the roof, and it's a wide angle, and you can really see the snow coming down. It's done more corners now. So
yes, it's a much nicer picture, and you don't realize. I mean, our webcam before we
thought it was great.
Yeah, but now it's even better, crystal clear.
Oh yeah.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobilefriendlyjruddy.com. JRUDDY.com, where we also have all the podcast apps that we are featured on. If you like to podcast, that's your thing, give us a listen on one of those apps. Okay, Michelle Haynes, co-owner of White Fence Homes. Tell me a little bit about you and your company, please.
So again, my company name is White Fence Homes. We're based out of the Back Mountain here in Pennsylvania, but we service all of northeastern Pennsylvania. Basically, what we specialize in is helping people sell their properties for more money and more quickly. So that's my main focus professionally. So we focus on home staging services, which could range from home staging consultation with a seller, that's a 1 to 2 hour walkthrough, all the way to vacant staging or occupied staging where I'm bringing in items for rent, where I set them up and prepare the home to look its best. And then all the way to real estate photography. So the listing photos, that was something that I became very passionate about once I started doing the staging side of it. Really, they go hand in hand. Great staging without great listing photos, it does a disservice to the staging. And, great photos without proper staging does a disservice to the home. So, and then the other side of our business is interior redesign. So redesign is taking an existing home and updating it. So you're living in your home, you're not ready to move out, you're not looking to sell your home, but you want to refresh it. Give it that edit that modernizes it and brings it into, who you currently are, design-wise or even functionally speaking. So I help clients in real estate and all of those aspects.
Nice. So you wear many hats. Today, we're going to talk about something completely different because you have a lot of experience in this department, and I really want to talk to our listeners who I think are interested in this topic. Flipping.
Yes.
And what is flipping?
So flipping is, the way I picture it or can explain it best would be like taking the ugliest house on the block and turning it into the prettiest house on the block. That's typically what we look for when we're looking to purchase a flip, is something that's really needs that love and the TLC to bring it back to not just its original glory, but make it even better than perhaps it was when it, in its original build. So it's renovations, and it could range from full gut. We've done those before where you're, changing out electrical because you had knob and tube and that all needs redone, plumbing, or it could just be a simple, I don't really like the term, but a lipstick, paint, carpet, in and out, that kind of thing, which we've Haven't done a whole lot of those. We tend to get a little bit more in the nitty gritty, fixing the function of the home or the layout. So that requires a little bit more intense renovations. But just kind of that whole idea of taking something that is a little bit run down or a lot run down and really could use that revitalization and then put it back on the market.
So you transform a not so nice property into a very nice property for profit.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's different types of flippers, and flipping.
You got that right.
So
You got that right.
So there's the buy and hold where people, transform the property, then rent it out, and then at a future point may sell it. There's flippers who buy a house, live in it, and for at least 2 years, and then sell it. And they don't have to pay the capital gains tax, right? If it's a primary for 2 years out of the last 5 years, right? And then there's people that buy it, hurry up, update it, and time is of the essence. I mean, you're under, you have to have people professionally lined up, and you got to turn that around 6 to 9 months, right?
Yes.
And then sell and put on the market. As a real estate agent, broker, it's gone in many types of homes. Sometimes we do realize when we're going through that it was a flipped home. And you can sometimes tell because
the quality of work isn't.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
I know you were struggling to say that, but
Yeah.
you see, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
I spit this stuff out.
You could see.
You could just look at it.
It's
Some of these houses, you didn't want to say it, are pigs with lipstick.
And there's plenty of people out there that have made a good business out of that.
Sure.
But the buyer doesn't always get
Right.
the
There's
know.
good ones and then there's
There are.
not so good ones.
Right.
So let's talk about doing it right.
Yes.
And if anybody's out there interested in flipping, what do they need? I mean, this is a numbers type of business, flipping.
It is.
And it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it isn't. And there's always those surprises behind
Always.
the wall, so to speak,
Always.
either figuratively or literally.
So let's
So
start at from the ground and from ground zero. Start. What do you do as somebody that flips homes? I mean, your first flip? I'm sure you think of it a lot differently today than you did then.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to kind of go back, take a journey with me back in time, 2009-ish.
We're going to Texas?
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
we're going
You're
to Texas.
right. Yeah, you
Texas.
know
I
it.
love Texas.
Yes.
We're
So-
going to Austin. Wait, let me see.
Yeah, it's-
Let me
you're
see. Yeah, I'm
psychic
using psychic.
today.
I'm psychotic. as well. Okay.
So, my husband and I moved to Austin, Texas from California. We're Pennsylvania natives. Graduated from the high schools in this area. Just bring it back.
You're also
So-
a Marine veteran, correct?
I am. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. We had moved from San Diego, though, to Austin to get into real estate because San Diego was just such a tough market to get into. It still is. Austin at that time was not what it is today. It was still an up-and-coming area, but it had so much potential to get into. We could get into any type of real estate we really wanted. We're both veterans, so we qualified for VA funding. We were able to purchase our first home, which was a fourplex. So we just jumped right in, head first, fourplex. So we lived in one unit, and we rented the other three out. Little by little, as we turned over renters, we would go in, we would, fix it up. We would replace flooring and carpet, paint, really kind of got our hands intimately involved in both the property management end of things, being an investor, but also fixing things up and getting that day-to-day life, real life experience of like, this is what can happen. This is what can go wrong. How do we fix a toilet appropriately? My husband already knew a lot of that stuff, but, just kind of jumping into home ownership times 4 times managing renters and everything like that. So that was our first property. Within a year or two, we decided to buy a duplex. So we held on to that fourplex, moved into the duplex, did the same thing with the duplex. So now we have an investment property, and we're also living in a new investment property, lived in that, fixed up. So you see the pattern. And that was kind of how we got into real estate. We loved it. It was great. We made a lot of, we learned a lot. We made a lot of the mistakes that we learned. We were living in the property, so we owned them. We got to figure out how to really handle being an investor, like I said, property manager, and also to some extent renovations and flipping, and kind of living with our choices as well. So we also ended up purchasing a ranch in Texas that we slowly fixed up and lived in. And that was our first property sale. When we decided to move back to Pennsylvania, we sold that. We ended up making a lot of choices on our way out of that property to increase the sales price of the home, so that we were making investment choices in flooring, something that would give us a good ROI, even though we weren't going to be enjoying it at the time because we were moving, something that we knew buyers were going to appreciate.
What would you go with, hardwood? Is that what you...
We did hardwood, and we did down there. There was a big push for travertine floors. You can't really do that as much up here because the floors are more flexible. Down there, they're on slab, and it's just a different environment.
Market,
yeah, and a different market. Yeah, so we did that. Just gutting. There were 3 bathrooms, so we gutted those and renovated those, and ended up making I think it was $160,000 on that house. And it really opened our eyes. Like, oh, my goodness. Okay. You could strategically do this not just for rentals and bringing in good tenants, but for resale of homes. So we moved back to Pennsylvania. We ended up in 2015 starting our business, White Fence Homes, and it initially started off as a flipping business. It's a S corporation, so that we were able to purchase and sell the homes through the company. And we did our first flip and learned a lot from it. It's not for the faint of heart. And
don't over-improve.
There's such a balance of under-improving and over-improving that it's a dance. It really is. And it's with each decision you're making. One of the things that I really loved about our flipping business, my specialty, so to speak, was the design aspect. So, okay, we need that half bathroom downstairs. Where are we going to put it? What's the best spot for an extra bathroom? Could we do it? Can we make this work? What about rearranging the layout of this funky kitchen? Like the funkier layout of the kitchen going in, the happier I was leaving because it was such a great improvement. Oh, there was another property out here that we did as a fixer-upper. It had one super long, huge, awkwardly laid out bathroom. We ended up, I was like, I know there's a better way to do this. There was no master bathroom at the time. So I ended up dividing it up into 2 bathrooms. So we ended up adding a master bathroom onto the master bedroom. And also there was still enough space to put a double vanity in the guest bathroom. So just kind of being able to rearrange things, I loved that part. And then also picking out the hard surfaces and the design elements of it. So, but going back to what you were originally talking about, somebody listening today who's kind of curious about flipping, I mean, for the past decade or so, we've been watching HGTV.
Well, there you go. I was going to mention
everybody
this.
makes it. They have it done in 30 minutes. Don't they do a flip in 30 minutes?
So,
30 minutes in and out.
It's glamorous. Mm-hmm. It's easy. Mm-hmm. Look at the transformation. I want to do that. Mm-hmm. But I could see how people could quickly drown in this world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with the prices of real estate right now, it's even, and the uncertainty, it's even, we don't know what the next 3 to 6 months are going to look like, which for a first-time flipper, that could be a realistic time frame between purchase, your time of purchase to the time that you close on it and you're selling it.
Market conditions change
They do.
all the time.
And it's volatile, right?
Right. And so you don't know what it's going to be like.
Right.
And you have to build that in.
Yes, you do. Right.
And how do you do that?
Spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Lots of spreadsheets.
Lots of research. You have to know what buyers want. So in Austin, it's different than Lackawanna, Luzerne County.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to know. You have to know values. You have to know neighborhood.
And that was another thing you brought up, the difference in location. The homes are just different. If you're coming from out of state, if you're an out of state flipper, there's people coming who are interested in our area right now from New York, California. I'm getting phone calls from California investors. Hey, can you come? Can you actually go out, Michelle, and look at this house that I'm under contract on and let me know what your ideas are? So I've been hired to do that for people who are out of state. They just want an extra set of eyes to go in and just lay it out there. What do you see? What do you think? But the homes are so different out here. Again, we talked about knob and tube. Didn't have that in Austin. I mean, I'm sure they're down. I know they're down there.
They're not that old. Yeah, they're not 100-year-old homes.
Most of them are not down that way. But most of them are up here, or at least a good percentage, a good chunk of them. So, and just the different types of plumbing materials that have been used. Now we're talking about asbestos in all the weird areas that you just kind of have to know about. So asbestos siding, asbestos wrapping around, heating elements.
Asbestos roof shingles.
Asbestos tile floors.
Exactly. Right. So just being aware, safety, you want to really you want to probably talk to a seasoned contractor or flipper in this area to really help guide you through your first, second couple of flips.
Well, that's how you learn. You make mistakes, right?
Yes.
Who you professionally partner with makes a lot of difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge.
Absolutely.
Well,
Michelle Haynes, co-owner of White Fence Homes, a professional staging company, professional photography, and an interior redesign company. How does someone get in touch with you, Michelle?
They can give me a call directly. My phone number, my office line is area code 570-763-1200. They can visit my website, which is whitefencehomes with the S at the end.com. So whitefencehomes.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. So check us out there. I'm trying to get a little bit better about being more socially, doing more social media posts and everything. So I'm hoping to be pushing out some extra content, some fun stuff, just to keep people up to date on what we're doing and put out some tips and tricks.
Nice. Good stuff. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Pat?
yes, we have a beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's at 11 Robondo Drive in Springbrook Township for $349,000. This is a unique home. It was built in 1991 with energy conservation in mind. This home has an earth berm design that saves energy and gives a consistent indoor temperature. It sits on 1.6 acres of land with beautiful views. It has a large 2-car garage, a brand new roof, new dishwasher, and a new stove. And it's got propane hot water radiant heat that keeps those tile floors toasty warm underneath your feet. It also has a spacious second floor with many possibilities. That's a contemporary 3-bedroom, 3-bath home with a 2-car garage at 11 Robondo Drive in Springbrook Township for $349,000, and that's listed by Connie Seagraves of our office.
Oh, thank you, Pat. And so as we're winding down the year and approaching 2022...
You got numbers?
But at the end, I have numbers up to the end of November for just my company.
Okay.
So out of the 170 homes that we listed from January 1st to the end of November, 150 of those 170, which we just listed like a week ago, went pending in less than 30 days. 8 sold in 1 day or less, 11 sold in 2 days, 9 in 3 days, 18 in 4 days, 8 in 5 days, 4 in 7 days, 9 in 8 days, 6 in 9 days, and 4 in 10 days.
If I would have told you this 2 years ago, you would have said, hey, you're crazy.
I would have. I never,
But you tell me I'm crazy anyway, but
well,
you would
yeah,
have said, no,
that's
you're
besides
really
the point.
crazy.
Right, yes, right. I wouldn't have believed it. Not at all. Stay with the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. We'll be right back after a very brief break.
The talented team of professionals at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. They're not just real estate agents, they're agents of change. They're on a never-ending quest for the best for you and your family. They can help you find exactly, precisely what you want at this time in your life. A computer, a website, an app, and a listing by itself can't do that. They're obsessed with better and deliver extraordinary, embracing the what if, not just the what's been done before, with a level of accountability and honesty not found anywhere else in the real estate industry. Don't settle for average, okay, or just all right. This change in your life is monumental, and there's only one Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate that will help you rock that change. Call 570-344-6724 and visit jruddy.com, JRUDDY.com. Each Century 21 office is independently owned and operated.
Thanks for joining the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Merry Christmas. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, in with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
Merry Christmas.
And Michelle Haynes, co-owner of White Fence Homes.
Such a pleasure to be back.
Thank you so much. We're talking about flipping, not for the timid.
Oh, no.
No, and I just want to bring out, a lot of people know about this. Maybe some of our listeners missed it. How could they? But Zillow, right, is a huge corporation, billions of dollars behind them. They just closed their iBuyer division. They were going in buying homes based on their Zestimate model and selling them, and they lost tons of money.
So they were trying to old flip-a-rooney, and it didn't work out too good for them, huh?
Right. So that's like...
It should cause pause.
Right. If they can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to be completely discouraging because there's certainly money to be made out there and homes that really do need this, like I said, kind of TLC to revitalize them. So even though the news coming from Zillow it's discouraging and it makes you go, oh my goodness, wait. So many people, how many times have you heard, well, my Zestimate this, my Zestimate that? They've been kind of the gold standard for kind of figuring out how much your house is worth. Now we're finding out that their data...
It's questionable. Basically, essentially, the point that I want to make is that the Zestimate is an algorithm, and there's nothing that you can put into a computer that's going to spit out in 2 seconds the value of your home.
No. If they do it by zip codes, we live in Dunmore. Half of our zip code is in Dunmore, and the other half is in Scranton. So if you can't compare the two. I mean, you're comparing apples and oranges. But if you look at it, it's just, it's the same zip code, so they must be the same value. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing like boots on the ground. You need a realtor. Mm-hmm. You need somebody like us to go in and say, okay, this and that.
Yes,
and you could do this.
That's a fantastic point because, like you had mentioned earlier, Jackie, just aligning yourself with professionals who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, both on the contractor end, hiring a good plumber, electrician, roofer, knows what they're doing, but also aligning yourself with a realtor who's knowledgeable about the area that you're looking to purchase and do a fixer-upper in. They'll be able to give you that insight of what they have seen, what they've experienced, not just in the past year, which has been such a roller coaster, the past 2 years, really, but also longer term. What are they seeing with movement coming into an area? What do they anticipate seeing in the next year, the upcoming year? Because flips, tend to not just take a week or two like they show them on HGTV where they just knock it out there. Everybody's there till, they're working 24/7, cranking it out. But it's a little bit of a longer term, outlook typically. Now, there are some people who will just put paint on a house, new carpet, and walk away. But when you're talking about redoing a kitchen, remodeling bathrooms and all that, maybe painting the exterior of a home, it's a longer process.
Yeah, now we talked about it during the break. What about over improving? Like when I go in and I'm going to do a kitchen over, do I do granite? Do I do quartz? Mm-hmm. Do I do Corian or Formica? What do I do?
So there is no direct answer because each home and each neighborhood is going to dictate and determine that ceiling of where over improvement really does occur. There's also the risk of under improving, like you've mentioned. You walk into a quickly done flip that could have been done better, and it kind of leaves buyers a little disappointed in maybe the overall quality. So having, again, that realtor who can walk through and kind of help you gauge, where should I end up falling when I look to list this? What would be a good bracket sales price to kind of aim for? And then working backwards from that, how much can I put into this while still making enough money to make it worth my while? And always have those buffers. You should always incorporate an overage, because there's always going to be behind that wall or under the floorboard or this and that, something in the basement, things you're not going to even see on that first inspection. Always get an inspection. Always get an inspection.
Always.
Get two.
Even see someone that's bought and sold how many homes, even you believe in the inspection process.
1,000%.
And so many people just, I don't want to spend the money.
And even
that's foolish. The biggest investment you're ever going to make in your life. And here I'm going to cut out because I don't want to spend $350 on an inspection.
Right.
That could tell me that if the main beam is infested with insects and it's going to fall down, or that it's in terrible shape. I need that. I need that. And to pull up the skirt and see what's going on there.
And listen, in 3 to 6 months, or shorter or longer, however long it takes you to revitalize this home, the new buyer's going to come in with their inspector. So anything you overlook could come up there. So you really want to be ahead of the game before you even make that purchase and really know what you're getting into, so that you could really work your numbers. And even bringing in, whenever I buy a car, I try and always take it to a knowledgeable mechanic first before I pay for it. Likewise, if you're working with a good contractor, bring them along with you for your walkthroughs, because they'll be able to point out things or possibilities you might not even think of, and really help you with that purchase decision.
Yeah, but the market has also changed too from when, it's a different market. Jackie was just going over all of those numbers, and, you might have at a time been able to wait a few 4, 5, 6 days. Now, not so much so.
But
That's
are there any deals out there for flippers these days? Because the market seems to be, everybody's going over.
And that's a very good point. When we were in our heyday of doing the fixer-uppers and the flipping, we were able to purchase homes without any competition. They had been sitting on the market. Nobody wanted them. We were able to even negotiate down or do a lower offer. Now it's a whole other animal. So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this area? Is this a roller coaster? We're going up, 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 and we're going to go down. We're going to experience the potential, correction of real estate in this area? Or is it being driven by kind of that exodus that we're seeing from the larger cities, the larger metropolitan areas into our smaller area? Because I know that has driven a lot of an increase in interest in our area and driven up real estate prices.
In November, we had closings, as many closings as there were days in a month. So, that is unheard of, so listings have slowed down a little bit. And when you have that, what's going to happen? You're going to still have that demand.
Right.
So the supply still isn't there yet. So, the experts, I can tell you what the experts are saying. They're saying there is no slowdown in sight, and that's on a national level. But real estate, like you just said, is local. So there's many factors here.
Right. Like in 2008, we didn't see
if interest rates go up, it's gonna slow us down.
You can save that for next show.
Okay.
Take that out. So go ahead, say that nice and slow. If interest rates
go up, that's going to hurt the market. It's going to slow everything down.
Buyers can't afford as much, right?
Right.
So, but we'll see. I hope it stays. I mean,
hope so too.
Right? It's good for all of us.
It is.
And our values in this area.
Absolutely.
And 2 years ago, like Pat said before the break this was not something that was even conceivable.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Michelle Haynes, owner of White Fence Homes. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
Give me a call at 570-763-1200. You can visit our website at whitefencehomes.com. You can also email me at info@whitefencehomes.com or visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
Thanks for joining the Real Estate Roundtable. Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 FM The Talker. Merry Christmas.